Hello, friends. I'm no therapist, but I'm your host, Stephanie Goodman. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a woman of faith. Often friends ask me how I have a successful marriage while blending families and staying optimistic in life. This podcast features people with real-life stories about success in relationships and triumph over trial. Have you ever struggled to live your dreams because you're mired in limitations? 14 years ago, I was in a movie called Stand Strong, produced by my now dear friends Amy and Shawn Kenney. What I didn't know is this was their first movie. Since then, I've learned that they continue to have courage to try new things and live their dreams no matter the limitations. So I have with me today a very special friend whom I've known since 2009, and I want to introduce you to my audience. Can you tell me your name and what it is that you do?
Hi, I'm Amy Kenney, and I am a licensed clinical social worker and a PhD student and a filmmaker and a mom of 9.
I'm Shawn Kenney, and a real estate broker and dad and husband.
Entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur.
We love that. What I want to focus on is the fact that you both supported each other in this dream. You both, not only do you have to have an understanding of what one another is going through, you have to have a teamwork. You have to be willing to go out in different comfort zones to be able to grow together. That was a situation that could have easily been shut down immediately. That's one thing that I thoroughly admire about the two of you, is you have all these incredible adventures in my mind, and you do it side by side. And I want to really focus in on that. I love that you were able to achieve your dreams with Stand Strong. I will forever cherish my time on the set of Stand Strong. I still have the script. I will treasure it forever, and I still have really good connections with a lot of the people that touched my heart on the set. Seeing our prayers, we would start with prayer. We would look for each other. You were pregnant during that time. I didn't even know that for the longest time. But we were able to support each other no matter what our circumstances were, and to be those characters and bringing that message forth.
Yeah, I think it was because all the people who had that same belief and wanting a vision, and I would say that's probably the key to all of it, even like the marriage or whatever, and the people who came and were part of the movie, was that it was a shared vision. Because everything that works in life that is something that's moving forward in a positive direction, it's because there's a vision. This shared goal of like we both see the same thing and we're both headed toward it. And that is, I would say, like probably what our marriage has been like. Maybe talk about how like what our dating experience was like.
We met when we were both 20 at the Palace Dance Club in Provo, and we started dating after that almost immediately. We were pretty much inseparable after that, but we would sit in our car. We'd go out and do whatever and go on dates and stuff, but when I'd take her home, we'd sit out in front of her house in our car, and we would almost immediately, within a few weeks of dating, started planning out life goals, like we were already together. We would sit there and we'd talk about finishing college and what cars we would own if we got married and where we would live and what we would do, and we both had this vision, and we'd both build on it, and one of us would say, yeah, that's really awesome, that's super cool, let's do that, and then the other person, and we just dreamed big, and we've done almost all of those things that we dreamed of from the very beginning, and we're constantly dreaming and adding more stuff to that, and it's just like a shared, almost like a vision board that's constantly being added to. It's been amazing. So.
Yeah, and because we just kind of see each other as like a single unit, a team. We're a team, and this team, since we're not working against each other or competing against each other, we are working together. And however that looks, so like our roles would always look like, it was never like a fixed, like you're doing this and I'm doing that. Only sometimes you're doing that and I'm doing this, and it would switch. There was years where I was the one doing the money and doing the checkbooks and the bills and whatever, and then it switched, and then he was doing the money and the bills and the checkbooks, and we would just interchange depending on
if one of us was going to school or
or had a demanding
schedule or whatever.
Yeah,
things we just pick up the slack for the other person without even asking. Just knew that
we're supporting the vision that we're all moving towards the same goal, whatever it is, and then we just so to get to that goal, we have to do things to get there, however that looks.
Yeah, I love that you shared that with me. The fact that you are willing to dream and support each other in that dream. Easily being vulnerable in that space, he could have torn you down, or vice versa. You could have torn him down for these crazy out of the world dreams that he has and been realistic. But instead you chose to see this passion together and say, yeah, let's do this. Let's have this adventure together. And I love that you brought up that you see each other as equals. I think that is such a power tool in relationship, is that you see each other as equals, as best friends, and you support each other as adults, right? There was something that you shared with me when we were talking earlier, and that is that you felt that you raised each other.
Yeah, that's a joke that we have between us because we were so young. He said, we were both 20, but actually I was 19 and he was 20 when we met. We got married. So from the time we met to the time we married was 6 months, and I was 12 days shy of my 20th birthday when we got married. So yeah, we were young. We have now,
very young.
Been together 28 years. We've been together longer than our parents had us, under their parental care. So we literally have
double the time
raised each other. And so that if we have a complaint with the behavior of the other, we're like, maybe I should own that. Like, what did I not do to raise you right? And we laugh. It's like a joke when someone, one of the other doesn't know annoying behavior, because they're like, how did I go wrong there? Like, what was
right?
that?
Where did that come from?
Yeah, we laugh because we basically say that like every day's a honeymoon. And that we always say that too. That we always say to each other like, and every night's a sleepover.
I love that. Every day's a honeymoon, and every day's a sleepover.
And every night's a sleepover.
So, do you think that is helpful in your marriage in keeping the spark alive?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because we have like a ton of fun. Think about sleepovers. Like if you're a girl, you've been to a sleepover. What are your sleepovers like?
Jab, 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 jab,
yes.
jab, jab, jab,
talking and playing, laughing, talking about what you love, your like movies and music and dancing maybe and dress ups and
right?
we do all. That's what we do. We've been playing dress up for years. He's like, I love dress up. So he doesn't always dress up, but he likes to watch me. So
well, he supports you and enjoys the joy that you have in doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
And we'll get in weird moods where we just pull out all the 80s cassettes and go down that path of remember when.
Yeah. And we have like little dance parties together, he and I, and whatever.
Now, we're not too far off in our age. And so the 80s is a nostalgic time for us. What is it that you think is the reason that we have so much joy in bringing back the 80s?
I think it's like the colors and the
colors.
Yeah, the colors and the music. Everything was so vibrant and fun. And it's not just for us, but like even the youth of today are vibing really high on the 80s. Like it's good music. It was artistic, very artistic time. There were no wars happening, at that particular moment. It was like a time of peace, and the Berlin Wall came down. The financially was like the most stable it had been, it was like a time of wealth and prosperity. It was a joyful time, and people revert to it because there was, of course there was there was trash and drama, of course, but like the things you take away from the 80s was that it was a happy time. And everything was like Art Deco and fun, and and it just speaks to everybody,
It does. It's really interesting when you were showing me some of the pictures that you do. So, my friends, I want to introduce you to Amy and Shawn Kenney. They have an 80s collection like I have never seen before in my life, other than living the 80s. You can see them living the 80s now. In fact, I'm looking at you right now with your jelly bracelets on and your sweet golden butterfly collar shirt. She lives this, and this is because it brings her joy. And her husband supports her 1,000% with doing these things. And I think that is really another super tool in having a strong relationship, is supporting each other and
have fun.
What brings you joy.
Have fun.
Oh, yeah. So big. Have fun.
Yeah. Like if life is meant to be enjoyed, and I think through we've had our share of pain and heartache and hard things that happen. Like I said, life's hard sometimes. It is. And at the same time, because we've both been fixed on the same goal, going the same place, go the same way, we can find joy and fun. We've been a comfort to each other, and I'm every day so grateful for Shawn. He's the best thing that ever happened to me, and the gratitude is probably above all. Just being so grateful, and I think that has kept everything really alive too. It's just I look at him and I cry because he's everything. Really.
I love that. I mean, isn't that the most amazing relationship goal? Is to have that kind of treasured time with your spouse.
Yeah, and we're keenly aware of the fact that this life is short. It is not going to last. You don't get mortality forever, and make it count. Do the things you want to do, and dress the way you want to dress, and talk to the people you want to talk to, and make your dreams come true. Do whatever.
Go see what you want to see. It's we're not getting any younger, and the years seem to go faster and faster. So
yeah,
we just love to.
So this year alone, we both have had a lifelong dream of go to Egypt. We're just always been fascinated by Egypt, and we're let's go to Egypt. Let's go to Egypt.
Let's do it.
So we did,
Best trip ever.
Yeah, and just we're getting ready to go to Athens and Kona, Hawaii, just the places we want to see. We figure.
We just got back from Peru.
Yeah,
Machu Picchu.
Yeah, the dream places we really wanted to do. It's time, and I guess that has us really thinking what we want to model for our kids too is that the possibilities of everything, whatever it is that you dream or that you want to do, don't hold yourself back. You can do anything you want to do. You really can. And I want to show that. Again, like I said, you can't just tell someone that, but you can show it.
You can show it.
By living it. You can do it, and that it's real. And I want people to be able to, especially my kids and my future posterity that I don't even know yet, grandkids and great-grandkids and whatever. I want them to see our faith in the way we live. So we're just going to live full out.
You have a really good point there where you said, I want my grandkids and great-grandkids to know that we lived our dreams, that we lived life full out. And I think that you are definitely huge examples of doing that. I mean, ever since I've known you, we did the movie together, and then I think the next thing was that I saw you guys doing couples yoga together. How did that start?
every time it seems like I get really inspired about, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And then Shawn will say like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And at some point, like I'm yoga certified. I got yoga certified, and that's been a great joy in my life. And then Shawn always just like sees the fun I'm having with things too, and is like, I want to do that too. So we play with it together. That's just part of that playfulness. I would say that we both have a high adventure streak and like maybe a high playfulness streak. So
a little bit and a lot of adventure. We just love to try new things. Like we're always looking for something new to try. We said both of us ice climb, we rock climb, we're certified sailboat captains, we're paraglider pilots, yoga. I mean, we've tried it all.
Like
we're constantly looking for new adventures.
Yeah,
so
living life like that, just living life, and that is the joy of it, to live it. And,
yeah. Have you ever come up to a situation where one has the confidence to do it and the other is just terrified? How do you help each other through that circumstance?
Sometimes it's not necessarily the being terrified, but sometimes it's we help each other with endurance. Like one time, I would say that one of the adventures we did was called Kings Peak. It's the highest peak in Utah, and it's 13,528 feet, which is not like high in terms of the scope of how tall mountains are in the world, but we decided that we were going to do it in a day. And a lot of people do it in like a 3-day camping trip or
32
something.
miles round trip.
Yeah. And
I don't like to camp.
yeah, so
I don't want to lay on the hard
so
bed.
Shawn told me that. This is one of the times. Sometimes he pitches things to me, that are like, these are his bliss, because he loves the mountains. And so, sometimes both of us will get out of our comfort zone to join the other's fun, because we like to be together,
And I wanted to do this peak. It's one of the few peaks I hadn't done yet, and so I wanted to do it for years. And finally, I pitched it to her and just said, "Let's just go up to Wyoming. We'll spend the night in a cabin at the trailhead, and then the next morning we'll get up and we'll do the whole thing. And then we'll head home straight after." And we did. We went up there and did it.
Well, so. We did it, but like it was hard. It's like a little mini metaphor for life, because we were both pretty chipper and both pretty
gung-ho.
Yeah, for about the first 8 to 10 miles or something.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
As we got up to like the first pass, we got hailed on. We got stepped into a group of moose that were like breathing in our necks. That was really scary. And then by the time we actually got to the base of the summit, it was like a boulder field. It was like a lot of loose rock and scree and big boulders, a big boulder hopping. And at that point, it was about 11,500 feet or something. And that's when I started noticing Shawn laying down. He was just like laying down on the rocks, and he wasn't moving. And he was just like, you go ahead. And I'm like, wait, this is your idea. Get up. I'm like, I think you might need he brought oxygen with him, because he tends to get elevation sickness over 11,000 feet or something. I think this is what you have. So I'm like, here, get your oxygen out. And so I'm helping him, make sure, like, get your oxygen, use it. So he was using it, which got him to the summit. And so we were able to stand on the summit together. And I'm like, hands up, and yeah, and he's down there, trying to breathe. But
I celebrate you.
But we're at the top, and then the roles reversed on the way down. So then by the time we're on the way down, by the time we had about 6-7 miles left by the time it was completely dark outside. And it was cold, and I could see my breath, and I was hating the experience. It was miserable, and I was miserable, and I was like trying not to complain, because this is his dream. He wanted to be on this thing, So I'm like, I don't want to shoot down his dream, So I'm just kind of doing whatever I could in my head to stay going, and I was exhausted. I felt like I could die and not care,
and not care.
Yeah. Like if my next
Done like a marathon and a half.
Yeah,
miles.
if my next foot falls into the spirit world, I don't care. So so it was pretty miserable, and he was just kind of kept talking, and he was walking ahead of me, and I just kept fixating my headlamp on the back of his boots, and just watching his steps, and just kind of trusting that eventually we'll get out. But so then it was like he was then taking care of me, making sure I got out, so that stuck with me a lot about how we do things, that was very symbolic of the way our marriage has gone. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I have the energy and I'm the one inspiring something, and sometimes like I'm a mess and I'm falling apart, and he's the one that is holding us together and keeping us moving forward. And on the days when we both feel like that, we just like cry and take a nap. So
That's good advice too. Let the world go along. We need a nap.
Yeah.
Oh, I really loved that you shared that story. And I thought it was interesting that he was the one that was gung-ho for the concept. And you were like, okay, I support you. Let's go do this. And then you were the one trying to help him to see through his dream. And then you got that part done. And now you've got to face the fact that you got to go right back down that mountain. And that seems like a long way. And you lost your enthusiasm for it.
Yeah.
But he continued to be your warrior.
Yeah.
Step by step.
He just all like the steadiness, like, and that's how he is. He just has a steadiness. I can be like a meteor, just kind of burn through something really fast and bright and powerful. But his endurance capacity to just kind of keep moving at a good pace. He paces me, and that has been a blessing to my life. We both add. We're just always kind of adding on each other's gifts.
Kind of like the butterfly that needs to rest finally comes down.
And like I'm always like jazzing him up. We both kind of adding to each other all the time, and we both have become more. I would say probably more capable and more well-rounded people because of our time together.
Have you seen transformation in each other?
Oh, what do you think? I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure, in all different ways. Like,
do you feel that you're a different person than you were when you first married?
For sure, yeah. Same, but
like more of ourselves.
Yeah.
I would say, well, I'm more myself. Like the self that is truly me, I am more realized than I was then.
Because you recognize you are a value in this world.
Yeah.
A big part of that is because of the comfort and the support that you have from being able to be open and vulnerable with him.
Yeah. And even the confidence about things. I mean, because I like to wear like really outrageous things, and he's not always down with that. And there was times that I would say things or do things that were really embarrassing to him. And there was probably like 10 years into our marriage one day where all of a sudden he was like, I'm not embarrassed for you anymore. And I was like, what? Like, that's a really weird comment. and I'm like, you were embarrassed for me? And he's like, well, sometimes, yeah. You just say things or you just do things, and it's weird, and I don't know why you do those things. And then he's like, but I realize that you're not embarrassed, so why should I be embarrassed for you if you're not even embarrassed for you? So
we're complete opposites in a lot of ways too. Like, she's like very like color code lingo, yellow, like outgoing and all those.
Yellow
And I'm
personality.
completely the opposite. I'm very quiet and shy, and we kind of meet in the middle. We've pulled together over the years.
So what is
more
your
central.
color personality?
If
she's a yellow,
I'm
you're
blue and red, and she's red and yellow.
yeah, so the red together
Meeting
has
on the red.
we're very ambitious and driven about our goals because we both have that red piece. But I'm like very fun oriented, and he's like very like love and peace and relationship oriented. And so he's helped me like be a better parent, or how to be less selfish, and I've helped him be like more selfish. So
yes, you have.
I'm like, that can wait. Just you take care of you. You do what you want to do.
That reminds me, you talked about how things are just things, right? But memories are the things you get to take with you. And that's why you're willing to be sporadic. Like on your drive up here, you chose to take off on a wild road and go swim in a hot pot. How many of us did that? I would say a very small percentage.
Yeah, like always add the embellishments. It's like outfits, like accessories. Accessorize your life.
Oh, did you take that into note? Accessorize your life. You're given full permission to right now.
Yeah. You have, yes. Your life is an art palette. Make it however you want and make it beautiful.
Create your story.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I have one question to ask you, and that is, if you look back on your life and you had some advice to share with the younger self, what advice would that be, Amy?
I think looking back on whatever, I didn't always know how they would turn out or what they would look like actually, but I somehow maybe believed that they would be good. And the details of things just were surprising. Like I didn't ever expect to make movies, or I didn't ever expect to get a PhD, or I didn't expect, I as a yellow personality, I'm not motivated by a lot of things, so
I understand.
I just want to play. I don't want to do actual real work or actual real whatever. And I would say that the thing that the advice I would give myself is to just like keep moving, forward and be open to whatever is coming, because it's better than you expected. And I think for any of us, that's how it is. Like our future is always better than expected if we move forward positively.
If you allow it to be a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, don't worry about it. It's going to happen already, and it's going to be better than you thought.
That's exactly right. I love that. And Shawn, what advice would you give your younger self?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think just kind of, just be who you are. Like growing up and, when I was younger, I was always, like I said before, I was really shy, and I kind of kept to myself and didn't want people to see like who I was and, that kind of things. But yeah, just be who you are and enjoy life. And like Amy was saying, it can be an amazing thing. I couldn't have ever imagined my life being what it is. It's like we said before, there's been a lot of ups and downs and everything, but ultimately it's just been absolutely amazing. And I can't imagine sharing it with anybody else but Amy. It's just been spectacular, and we've had a lot of amazing adventures and continue to do so, and it's just been really good.
What are you doing lately that's like being who you are?
I don't know. I just I've started wearing more colors, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been fun.
And why are you doing that?
I don't know.
Because that's who you are. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, like this is a part. Like there's pieces that Shawn is. And I think there's truths that we each have that we both get, like innately, like in our soul. And that's what we've been exchanging with each other, how to, and like this thing about colors or whatever. Like, yeah, he liked it, but didn't want to be like out front and center. I want people to look at him. But you should have seen him in Venice Beach, California in sequin pants and silver sequin pants, and people everywhere. People were recording him. They were like walking by and like putting him on their Instagram, and they're like, "Dude, you look sick. You look awesome."
That was dress up for roller skating on the beach. That's just what, I'm not walking around town in sequin pants. We specifically dressed up to roller skate
for that purpose.
Yes.
So that was like,
it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and he got a ton of compliments every time he wore an outfit. He had purple pants a different day for a different thing.
I saw some of those purple pants. Those are sweet purple pants.
And he got a ton of compliments, like, "Dude, I love your outfit. Dude, you look sick. Dude, you look amazing." And I'm like, see?
I think people recognize that part in them that they see in you and want to be that brave.
Yeah.
That's what they celebrate.
Yeah.
That's why they take pictures and video.
Yeah.
Say, one day I want to be that person. So cool.
Yeah.
I want to be brave and allow myself to be out there.
And that's what he's embracing, that piece.
It can be scary, can't it?
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone. But be who you are.
Yeah.
Being authentic. authentic.
And and he's, like I said, he's taught me a ton about just being responsible, being an adult.
That word, responsibility, adulting, right?
Yeah, doing the unfun.
Yeah,
the unfun.
We play hard, but we work hard too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a nice balance.
Yeah, and he's a hard worker, and that has helped me a lot. Realize that you can have fun and you can work.
Exactly.
So
it's hard to have fun when you're broke, so you gotta work. You gotta have a job.
That's another note right there. It's hard to have fun when you're broke.
No, not necessarily. We had fun then too.
It's harder.
You can't travel maybe as much, but we had fun then too.
So it has been an absolute honor to have you here and to share your story. I could talk with you till 3 o'clock in the morning. I know it, over a bowl of cereal, right? And we would have no stops. We would just continue talking. I want to thank you for sharing your time with me and being vulnerable about your story. I know that it will touch many hearts. Where can our friends follow your Instagram, or do you have YouTube? How can they get in touch and see these amazing outfits that you've chosen?
Yeah, this is we have a kind of a joint Instagram page, and then he has an Instagram page too, and my Instagram page is Our 80s Fitness Journey. OUR 80s Fitness Journey.
Is it an 80S?
Yeah, just 80s. Yeah, 80 and then S. Fitness Journey. And it has like our outfits and our 80s fun. And then Shawn has an Instagram page too that's like the outdoor fun. Tell him about yours.
Yeah, it's just called Utah Outdoor. It's a lot of our outdoor adventures and that kind of thing. So
yeah. So those are our things. Fashion in the outdoors. Ooh,
There you go. The perfect marriage. Fashion outside.
Yeah.
And that's so fun too, because you've been able to go different places and travel different places, and then you bring your outfits and you incorporate that with capturing those moments and recording them for others to see and your posterity.
Yeah, and I travel when we go somewhere. I travel super light, so I can buy their fashion too.
Who would you say is most creative in that?
And well, we're both creative in different ways, and like when we make we make a lot of little videos, fun, like videos of like fun things we're doing, and we both vision them out. We were like, oh, and then we should do this. Oh, and then we should say that. Oh, and then we like add onto them, like a sleepover we were talking about.
I think that is so important that you incorporate that kind of energy of the sleepover, which is creative, which is, beyond the world around you. This is this moment, and this is how we can dream together. I love it. If you've enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe, share, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram. Please comment, because I would love to hear about what you think and what you want to see in the future. I'm no therapist, but I am your host, Stephanie Goodman.